Today, we are going to be doing something that we have never done in the history of this channel. Talk about games that are not PS Vita. Well, technically you can still play them on your PS Vita and I'm already confused. Oh, come to think of it, I also did that PS1 games on PS Vita. Never mind the intro then. Thanks for the pointless build-up. Greetings, fellow Vita fans. This is James with PS Vita at 2 AM, coming at you once again with another exciting video. And if you're new here and love everything PlayStation Vita, don't forget to subscribe. And be sure to leave me your thoughts and opinions on this topic down in the comments section. The discussion for today is PSP games that you can play on your PS Vita, along with some hidden gems, my favorite. Let's get to it, and make sure to tell me what PSP games you love to play on your PS Vita. Okay, here is my first pick. Adventures to Go. Quite the controversial title back in the day, maybe even still is, I don't know. And a very bizarre title that makes you think that you're looking at some sort of marketing strategy or something, which does kind of fit with the game's theme. But in Adventures to Go, it is a role-playing game where you never really need to leave town. The quests come to you, ordered up specifically to your power meters at the local Adventures Outpost, also called Adventures to Go. Who would have figured? And that, for me personally, is what gave this game its charm. It was an RPG with a much more laid-back feel to it because of its approach to things. Even the story is pretty laid back. You are Finn, a young adventurer seeking to make a living at Adventures to Go. Somebody in real life really needs to give their store that name. Finn needs the payouts from his adventures to help his family, and basically this is the excuse he needs to become a hero. I can't think anything better than that. The gameplay takes place on a grid, and I will have to just give a word of warning here. If you're not into customizable JRPGs that feature monster grinding, then you're probably not going to be into Adventures to Go. You'll more than likely find the gameplay to start getting repetitive after a while. But if you're looking for an RPG with a much more laid-back feel to it, and can appreciate this game's approach on things, then this will definitely be your Adventure to Go. I mean, hey, if we can have the likes of Uber Eats and DoorDash in the year 2021, then why can't we have Adventuring to Go? And speaking of controversies here, let's talk about another game that has been completely abandoned by its creators, that being Capcom. This is Darkstalkers, the Chaos Tower. I always forget the subtitle of this game for some weird reason. What would happen if you took the gameplay of Street Fighter and mashed it with the likes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, which in turn really kind of was Street Fighter-esque, and gave it a monster horror theme to it? Well, you get Darkstalkers, a game where you can play the likes of not Frankenstein, and not the Mummy Man, and not Dracula. Yeah, they're definitely not them. But what I love so much about this version of Darkstalkers is that it took the mechanics from past Darkstalker games and mashed it all up into one game. So if you want the game to play like Darkstalkers 1, then you have that ability to do so. Thank you so much, Capcom. Now, if you would only give us a new entry in this series, I would be one happy camper. A camper of death or something. I don't know. Insert your own horror joke here. Wow, we're really running with the theme now here, aren't we? This is yet another overlooked game from Capcom called Power Stone, or in this version, the PSP version anyway, Power Stone Collection. The reason why I wanted to include it on this list is because I think a lot of people out there know about Power Stone, but many people still don't know that the PSP got its own version of the game, and it's pretty much the only other version we ever have of them. And frankly, at this point, Capcom just can't be bothered to deal with either of these series. They're too busy making new Resident Evil and Street Fighter games every year. I remember back in the day, I actually had the pleasure of playing the original Power Stone game in the arcade. I remember it being in a Kmart of all places, and boy was it a breath of fresh air back then. What Power Stone Collection basically is a collection of both Power Stone 1 and 2 in one bundle. But what is Power Stone? Well, in it, you play one of many fighters in 3D arena-style battles. Think of it sort of Super Smash Bros.-esque in a way. And while you battle your opponent, you're able to collect these gems called Power Stones. Collect 3 of them and you turn into some sort of superhuman being version of yourself. It's pretty out there, and you're able to lay down the punishment on your opponents even further. Now, the main difference between Power Stone 1 and 2 is that Power Stone 1 is a one-on-one fighting game, and Power Stone 2 can be enjoyed with up to 4 characters on screen at once, making it quite the game of mayhem. Now, this game is awesome, but my only minor complaint with it is that the load times are pretty extensive, so just be aware of that fact. Okay, so this next title I am extremely excited to talk about because I think many people out there still aren't aware of its existence. You know how a lot of individuals love to say, oh, the PS Vita has no games, if only we had something akin to GTA. Well, did you know that there were in fact some GTA-like games on the PS Vita, and I'm not just talking about some of the older GTA games, I'm talking about GTA clones. Enter Gangs of London. It was made by the same developers as The Getaway back on the PS2. Only much better in my opinion. And in this version, the player has the choice to play as 5 different gangs in, well, London, all with different aesthetics and colors. I guess I could see that being a selling point. I mean, after all, it is a good idea to look your best when you're breaking the law. And in traditional GTA fashion, during the course of the story mode, you will be given a wide variety of objectives. One objective you may have entering a nightclub armed with nothing but a jackhammer, while another one may have you trying to run the enemy off the road, or them trying to run you off the road. There are also kidnapping missions, stealth missions, and even a race mission. Methinks things are about to get pretty violent all of a sudden. And of course, once you're done with different missions of the game and the story progresses, it has this cool kind of comic booky style vibe to it. Comic booky? You know what, come to think of it, I think I need to call my comic booky. So if you are in fact a PS Vita fan and been wanting to scratch that GTA itch, well, it's been under our noses this entire time. Check out Gangs of London. Ah, I bet you all thought I was gonna make a hooker joke. I actually couldn't think of one this time. Okay, now here's an oldie but a goodie, Phantom Brave, a title that was like ported to every system known to mankind back in the 6th generation, which is fitting because it's on this list, meaning it must be awesome. Though this version of Phantom Brave is called Phantom Brave, the Bermuda Triangle, which sounds very mysterious in itself. In this game, you take on the role of Morona, an orphan with the ability to speak with phantoms. Though she's shunned by society, she believes in helping others. With her phantom companion Ash, Morona aims to purchase the mysterious Phantom Island. Or Isle, I guess, depending on the way you want to say it. Oh, and would you look at that? I think we're in JRPG strategy territory here, people. And it comes with all of the usual suspects for a great strategy RPG. Though I will say that some people may find the difficulty of this game to be a little bit on the high side, but it does have enough depth that it keeps you wanting to give it just one more shot. With a fun story, fun gameplay, and fun music, this game is just, well, fun. Okay guys, and that will just about do it for all of the PSP games that I could think of off the top of my head. Had a nice mix of games you probably have heard of, to hopefully some maybe you have never heard of, and will thus be inspired to give them a try. But I'd love to know, what PSP games do you recommend that others play? Please post them down in the comment section where we can have a fun discussion. Or maybe a terrible discussion if we can't come to terms on what makes a great PSP game. And as always, fellow Vita fans, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It really means a lot to me. Love you all, and I'll see you next time. This video has been brought to you in part by all of these wonderfully generous people who help make this content possible, including David Ray, Wendy K, Himdall Imbert, Gutter Drums, Skulshire Tugel TCG, Adam Thury, Per Sterner, Erock, JR, Kyle Brooks, Saul Ramirez, Phantom XRS, Rodrigo Vera, Aaron Swanson, Heston Joseph, Kevin Enright, Jared Haddo, Joshua Williams, Clayton Marlarkey, BMF, Larry Anderson, H-Hitter, Jelly, Lori Sweeney, Richard Cruz, PS Vita S, Adam Sondi, Hero Acer, Jamie, Crazy Cat, Colossus, Ricardo Martinez, Michael O'Connor, Robert Sylvester, Matt Hargett, Mazgus, Tasha Monty, Eric DeWitt, Juan M. Hermosillo, Burzin Mystery, Kayonko, Hector Gonzalez, Dr. Super Artie, Romp King, Donut Valley, Nintendo Switch at 2 a.m., Azumara, 1488 Dental, Sakib Alam, Smug Wolf, Zake Blue 1, Bushin Ryu Cat, Milk Sama, Neo Arashi, Reiko Star, Matt Fox, B Mystery, Makis Blob, Alan Iwazuk, Shin Snake, Joseph Razmick, Frayden, Zacrito, and Robert Johnson. If you would be interested in supporting the channel and seeing your name on this end screen here, or if you wish to remain anonymous, that can be provided too, then make sure to check the links down in the description below. I have numerous ways for you to do this down there. Can't support in this manner? Don't worry about it. Likes and shares can help equally as much. Gangs of London. The game where you play gangs in London. Yeah, that sounds like a good enough explanation.